Hey guys, today we'll be looking at running shoes or just shoes in general and how they can actually be causing plantar fasciitis or foot pain and different things like that. So we're first going to take a look at like a barefoot shoe, which is what I recommend for people generally. One of the key things to look at here as far as plantar fasciitis goes, I'll have more videos on what to look for in a shoe in general, but specifically for plantar fasciitis, we can see the foot is flat all the way from here to the heel to the toe. And that's what we want because that's how our foot is shaped. That's how we walk barefoot. So that's what's going to be best for our foot there. When you take a look at, say, a shoe like this one, or even this one, not even looking at the cushion or the different degrees of it, but look at how the toe raises up. As you can see, it raises up off the ground. So if you're looking at it on a flat surface, it doesn't even touch the ground. And same thing for this one. It curves up, not touching the ground. This is bad for a few different reasons. One of the main reasons is because that big toe is meant to contact with the ground. It's good for balance. That's why people who have their toe amputated, their balance is a big issue. So it's great for balance, which you need for walking, running, for everything. It's also just another part of your foot, which should be on the ground so you can get that sensory information. The other aspect is it keeps your toe in kind of an extended position because it's not allowed to touch the ground. So as you can see, if this is flat, putting it in that little angle right there is going to be slightly extended, which puts just a little bit of tension on that plantar fascia, because as our toe bends back, that's what stretches our plantar fascia. It has like that windlass effect, so you will get a little tension in that area. And this isn't bad short term because your toe is meant to stretch, but when you have your foot in that position for 8 hours while you're at work, over days, months, years, that's when eventually you can start getting a little irritation because of that kind of just constantly stretched position, right? If I kept my arm in this position all day stretching, it would eventually get a little irritated as well. So that's where that comes into play. You'd really prefer, especially if you're going to be somewhere for a long period of time, something that mimics your barefoot, which is something like this, flat all the way to the end, so that it's not curving up like that, kind of putting tension through that foot. And it's just not a natural position for your foot to be in. If you just let your foot rest, does your toe come off the ground? No, it definitely does not. So I'm not sure why. I think they installed this little area in a shoe because they think it's that rocker motion. Basically, shoes nowadays try to do everything for you when your foot has all the capabilities and more to do it better than what a shoe could. The other aspect to look at in a shoe with regards to plantar fasciitis is the width here to the width here. As you can see, the width in the front is much smaller than the width in the back. Same thing for this one, meaning that it's putting your ankle at a slight downward position or slight plantar flex relative to a neutral position. Where this shoe is flat all the way across, which will give you a neutral position there. What this does, so if you're in this shoe for 8 hours a day, it keeps you in that plantar flex position, which limits your amount of dorsiflexion over time, right? If you're not getting an ankle dorsiflexion, you're naturally going to slowly start losing it because you're not using it. So over time, you'll decrease that motion, and that loss of range of motion can also kind of contribute to tightness in the ankle and the foot, and can eventually result in kind of some foot and ankle pain as well. The other aspect is all the cushioning in shoes really helps to allow your muscles not to do anything. Think of it as a corset for your foot, right? People say don't wear a corset for long periods of time because your ab muscles will waste away because you're not using them. Same thing for your foot. When your foot sits in a shoe that has all the cushioning for it, the foot muscles don't have to work. They can rest a little bit more, and they slowly get weaker over time, which is also the reason why when you use an orthotic, you usually have to kind of increase it every couple of years and change it due to the fact that those muscles keep getting weaker. When you're something like this, your muscles have to work themselves. So if you're not used to this, you will have to transition to it slowly. But as you wear it more, those muscles in your feet can get stronger and will support themselves and just make for a better, healthier foot overall. So when we look at all these shoes, my recommendation is always a more barefoot shoes. There's lots of different styles, variations for every different activity, work, running, casual, dress shoes even nowadays. So you're not really limited in that aspect of it. So this is what I would definitely recommend. If you're going to be in something like this, probably make it short term. You don't want to be in something like this for a long period of time. but it can definitely take effect on you. You may not feel it right away, but over time it'll take effect on you. But if you are transitioning into something like this, make sure you do it slowly because it's much different than what you're used to. So take your time. I usually recommend wearing it for maybe just starting out, even just like 10 minutes a day, and then slowly increasing it like that so your foot can get used to it, can get used to the different sensations, because you're going to be feeling the ground a lot more with these, which is beneficial for you. But if you're not used to it, it may feel a little weird. So definitely take your time transitioning. There's no rush as long as you're starting that transition. That's the most important thing. Taking better care of your feet and working overall to a better you. Your feet are the foundation, right? They're always in contact with the ground. They're the kind of the base that we stand on, just like a tree. If it has weak roots, it's not going to stay up forever. It will fall. If it has strong roots, it's going to be a much better tree. It's going to stay for a lot longer. So let's take care of ourselves, guys. Make sure you guys are in the right footwear, and we'll see you guys next time.